no idea when I last did a live. I'm not saying I'm losing track of time. Like, I know today's Friday, the 13th of October, 2023 at 6 p.m. I'm aware of the days and the times, but I'm losing track of when I last did a YouTube channel live, or like I've got my set routines, and my YouTube lives are not in a routine. So I don't know when I last said hello, and for that I want to apologise. And I'm fully aware that, you know, by not nurturing the YouTube channel, you know, like not giving it energy, I will potentially lose followers or whatever. So for that I apologise. There is so much to share as per usual, and every day, at least once a day, I think, I should do a live right now. But I just don't, for so many different reasons. And the title, Act, Commit, Belong. The reason why I decided to use that as my title for this YouTube live is because the other day we got asked, so I'm part of a theatre company at the moment. I'm part of a theatre production in my local country town. My local country town has this wonderful theatre company, and they have this old, they have an old church, an old church building. It got renovated, purchased, and turned to a theatre in the 1800s. I hurt my ankle really badly last Friday, and it's still sore. I rolled it and it's still sore. Basically, a really old church, like an original church that was built when Northern first was created, and then it got purposed and turned into a theatre in the late 1800s. Isn't this adorable? So back then it was probably the Dramatic Society or something like that. And it stayed as a theatre company ever since then. And obviously it's been built on and added to, and, you know, it's just a beautiful venue. It's a beautiful venue. And I remember when I first turned up to Northern, it's called the Link Theatre. I remember going, oh, what a beautiful theatre company. I really want to see a production in there, which I did. Can't remember when it was now. It was late July this year. I saw a production there called Mother and Son, and it was following the Mother and Son sitcom that was on Australian TV, for those of you in Australia. And anyways, it was just so well done, and I was like, oh wow, this is so cool. And then what was really interesting was, I think I've already shared this with you, but a friend of mine from church encouraged me to come to one of the audition nights. They'd already done 3 or 4 auditions. They're not auditions. A group of people had already signed up for parts and stuff. And there was only a few parts left that weren't filled. And I'll just show you what I'm about to walk through, just so you get updated. Just going through the water. As you can see, it's all coming down. There's a phone's going a bit wobbly. You can see the water's coming down significantly. Beautiful, isn't it? So, you know, obviously the water goes up to about there in the full flood, but even just last week it was up to there. So anyways, I'm just going to walk through this so you know what I'm about to do. So, Act, Commit, Belong. We had to do a blurb. So I've got a character in this play, and bravely took on, I've discussed this in my last YouTube, but I bravely took on being part of this production without really knowing what being part of a theatre production actually involved. And it's sorry, I'm just trying to get the phone nestled into a bit more comfortable on my wrists. Sorry, once it's organised, I'll be okay. I just finished up shop duty, so my wrists are quite sore from all the moving the clothes around, carrying clothes around, hanging clothes up, and blah blah. So basically, we got asked to do our own blurb. So we got our photos taken last week to go for the advertising and for the program and everything. And then we got asked if we wanted to write our own blurb. Not if we wanted to, but to write our own blurb about our part in the play. And I actually said in mine, as part of the Act, Commit, Belong ethos, I wrote Nadina debuts in her first acting role as part of the Act, Belong, Commit ethos to settle in good old her forever home in good old Northern, something like that. And then I wrote something about my character. And the reason why I came up with that Act, Commit, Belong slogan was because 2 weeks ago, when I was really freaking out about my role and trying to remember my lines, and I've got songs and blah, 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 I said something. I very openly and honestly expressed in the green room, which is the back room, where not the stage area, the room where our chairs are and where we leave our bags, and it's next to the dressing room and everything like that. Basically, I shared my absolute fear and panic around the whole thing, and this lady said to me, yeah, me too, it's my first play too. And I went, oh my gosh, really? And I found out that night just how many people were panicking and worrying, and I was like, oh. And even our rehearsal last night went really late. Even then, people are saying, yeah, it can't. Like, people are being really honest with their, they've been very honest. And I think we've got another week and a half, 2 weeks of rehearsals before the show. Anyways, the point of the story is, she said, when I told her why I joined, I said it was to become part of the community, and a friend of mine encouraged me to join because she knew that I was, everything in my life was just about working, making money work, to work on the house, and I was sort of like doing a plod life, like a beautiful life, like church every Sunday, spending quality time with good people, beautiful walks on the river with the dogs, really satisfying job as a gardener, working for an amazing boss with amazing clients. I've spoken about that, like most of my clients are really elderly, living on big blocks of land, and they are so inspiring. And not only are they inspiring, some of these people have really taken me under their wing, and like, there's this lady in her late 80s or early 90s or something, and she just phenomenal. She's really taken me under her wing, like, to make sure I look after my body and it's just really lovely. It's like having a mom. It's like having this beautiful mom, really lovely, loving mom, and and there's some other clients as well. And there's this really lovely energy between us. And it's just such an honour to work with them on their land, and empower them. Just such a satisfying job. So I have a lot of joy in my life. Had a lot of admin responsibilities though, and I'm halfway through my uni degree, or a little bit beyond half. And I would go, should I finish it? Should I tackle the online study world? There's always things I want to do. Got to get my brain in action. And I don't know if my Christian friend who encouraged me to come to the theatre group thought this would happen, I think she knew that it would help me get me out of I wasn't in a depressed slump, okay? But I was slogging out things. Like, hard to explain. Like, I'm getting a lot of joy, but there was just too much ploddiness, like, and yeah, there's something about joining the theatre group that just spiced up my life a bit, It's like, next level. Fun. Bit of fun, okay? Bit of fun. And then, anyways, they had this amazing, beautiful, unexpected side. I'm just walking up here. And I've got rolled my ankle, so it's a bit challenging going up these bits. Sorry, everyone. Anyways, basically, it got my brain in action, like having to learn the script. And so, I can't let anyone down. I've got to learn the script. So it's not a matter of maybe learning script. It's like I have to know the script off by heart, So the script's down 2 weeks ago, and yeah, just it's had this amazing outcome of getting my brain back in action. It's something that's non-stressful. It's not about the grief and the pain of broken dreams and trying to recreate a whole new life from shattered dreams. It's not about plodding along, just trying to make ends meet and not knowing how I'm ever going to manage it, and just constantly having to surrender in full faith that all will be well. It's none of that. It's just pure joy. It's just pure, simple, playful fun. So learning this script is actually giving my brain space to just get rewired into being in action again without any adult stress. Like, yes, being a play is stressful to a degree, but it's fun stress. Where are they? Have I got them? Yep. It's a fun stress. It's a good stress. So the reason why I'm talking about this in this YouTube channel, act, commit, belong. When this lady used those words, guys, remember that there was that ad, act, commit, belong. And it's so true, everyone. It is so true. Because by committing to being part of this theatre production, by committing to being by actually getting into action and committing to being part of something that's part of the community, I now belong more to the community. I'm meeting heaps of people from the community. Heaps of new friendships are developing. Rehearsing and learning lines is a wonderful way to get to the essence of everyone's being, because you see every gamut of everything that they have because there actually is a lot of worries and fears and insecurities that come up when you're learning lines, and then when you've got to present. Like, I've got a solo singing part, okay, and I can sing it perfectly at home, but every time I try to do it in rehearsal, my throat actually tightens up and I start to sweat profusely. And to the point where my director is saying, we might have to actually let that, hang on, I've got some slippery bit here. She's saying we might have to actually let that part of the play go. And I don't feel like I've let the team down, because obviously with that one song not being in the play's still going to make sense to a degree. And she says sweet pea and everything like that. So she's not speaking to me in a horrible way, and she's, putting her hand on my shoulder and asking me to breathe, and, she's just really kind and caring, but she is mindful that I may not actually be able to sing the solo on stage in front of everyone else. And I guess that's a good thing for me to know, but it's weird because I can do karaoke. I used to do bracket and jam. I used to play guitar and sing my own songs that I wrote myself in public. So I don't understand what it is about, except for I don't have a microphone, and I've got to do the singing and project out. So don't know if that's part of it, but it definitely is mental. Anyways, I've got till Monday to get it together, and if I don't have it together by Monday, well then probably that part of the play will be taken out. And that's good to know that I haven't let the team down. Like, I'm not letting the team down. It's okay. But I gave my best. I've been rehearsing every day. Pretty much every day I rehearse for up to 3 hours a day, sometimes longer. So you'd think that I would have it amazingly down pat by now. So yeah, I know the song. It's just unfortunate that when it's time to actually present it on stage, when we're doing our rehearsals, something in my throat just clams up. And I mean clams up like this. This weird sound comes out. It's really, really... I'm sure some of you understand what I'm talking about. It can be like that with public speaking too. I've done that before at university. We used to have to do a lot of PowerPoint presentations. And I understand why, because we had to collate the PowerPoint. We had to collate our presentation and then present it, and you'd get marked on it. It was part of our... You get a certain amount of points for each assignment. And a lot of my units involved a presentation, and some of them involved group presentations, so you had to work together as a group to create this presentation. So I learnt a long time ago how to get through that fear of public speaking, and that was a good thing. I think that's why they do that at uni, to try to get you over that fear. Look at this. So yep, that's a bit of an update with what's going on for me. And obviously this river, I'll show you proper starting to dry up. Still flowing though. So as you can tell, when I'm here not doing a YouTube live, it's very peaceful. And it's one of the reasons why I don't like doing my lives during my walks with the dogs. But what I've come to find out is that I'm not doing them at home either. I keep thinking I'll go out in the veranda and do one, or I'm just not feeling... I have been committing a lot to the rehearsing at home, and literally hours. Like, I've been organising a lot of networking. I've been networking with a lot of people, say, hey, let's get together and actually get rehearsals happening, getting everyone's numbers and creating times and dates. And I had people at my home, and then we organise sometimes to go to other people's homes, and it's working out really well. It's really nice, and it's really nice that we're all going to each other's homes as well. Come on, quick. Anyways, yeah, we've been really stepping up the rehearsals the last couple of weeks. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's been spending a lot of time on rehearsals at home. There's little Albany, there's little Zena, Beena. No, I missed her. So anyways, there's little Albany. Saying hello. Hello everyone. And Zena, Beena. I've had quite a few people on my YouTube channel comment on my dogs. And it's, yeah, they are a joy. It's getting easier and easier and easier now. They're getting older. They're doing less damage. I'm working on fencing off the land a bit, so I'm creating just blocking off this big area. That will be their area. Oh, good Lord. It'll be their area for running around and blah, blah, blah. And what it means is I'm now going to start, after the fencing area is finished, just walking in the water. Ow! After the fencing's done, so I've got the wire, I've got to get some more star pickets, and I got some wire from a garage sale ages ago. Got to get some more star pickets and various things. Anyways, I'm going to show you what I'm walking through. Isn't that lovely? Nice. So there you go, beautiful. So basically, fencing off area so I can get back into the garden and recreate a beautiful garden. I mean, not everything's been destroyed, but in the last 6 or 7 months, quite a lot of plants have been destroyed. Yeah, that was whoa, that was really hard to handle, but fantastic because it pushed me to focus on over winter, to focus on finishing off the library and the kitchen and the lounge room, and I've still got to do heaps of wallpapering, and I've still got lots of reno work to do, but just bit by bit by bit, as I've shared with you in many of my other previous YouTube channels, I've had a lot of energy issues, which are very likely to do with being premenopausal, and I've just had to really surrender to the process of just everything taking just that little bit longer. And it's just amazing joining this theatre company. About to fall back, sorry. See, I nearly fell backwards. Basically, I've been living just day by day by day by day by day, just getting into a really good routine, getting a really amazing routine. That commit belong thing, for any of you who have been following my YouTube channel, you will know that this last 17 months has been a very harrowing time for me, and it's through the grace of God that I've, through God's beautiful support, that I've survived and thriving, and it's why my YouTube channel got created. And initially, it was just a way of expressing what was going on because I couldn't write and I felt so overwhelmed. Just want to show you my view. I felt so overwhelmed, as a lot of you know. Nothing made sense. And it was being recorded and it was being shared. I realised really not long after I started the YouTube channel, I think God wants me to show the process and the progress, because there will be a time when I'm at the other end of it, which is now, of course. But there's going to be a time I'm at the other end of it, and I will have all of this footage of the raw footage. I couldn't write, but the raw footage is almost more powerful than the writing, because there can be a montage created from it. There can be there can be all sorts of things. Sorry, so it's these little buggers, these beautiful little fir pine cones. They're tiny. See how little they are? They're the size of my finger. But they're very sharp. Pretty. Super pretty for those of you who don't live in Australia. Very pretty. And it becomes one of these. Beautiful, hey? So anyways, Zena's all wet and covered in sand as per usual. Anyways, the story is, it's all been recorded, and I realise it's been recorded for others to watch and view and see, but also the footage will be utilised in the future for something very profound and powerful, and you will understand and see how I got to where I am now. Because, it's really interesting. My friends went, Alvin! Sorry, he just slammed into my knees. There's a little bugger. Be more mindful. Yeah, they were doing that, and then they both ran backwards, straight into my knees. Not cool. Not cool. Yeah. But I was aware of what was going on, and I sort of softened up my knees, and I pushed my feet really hard into the sand, and I softened up my knees, and that's the only reason I didn't get hurt then. And I strengthened up my legs, but softened my knees in case any of you can see can see two dogs bowling towards your legs. Bend your knees, make sure your knees are soft. Anyways, yeah, so it's been a very harrowing journey, and those that have been privy to it firsthand, that know me in real life, that they've been crying for me. Like every time they think about my situation, a lot of them have been crying, like actually crying themselves for the absolute horrific tragedy and cruelty of the situation. And also they just were completely flabbergasted with how I was surviving and how I was even able to breathe and stand up, you know. And I guess that was a very powerful, empowering experience for me to realise that so many people knew that only I and God could actually get through it. It didn't matter what they did, they couldn't heal or change the situation, but just being there and being such good friends and being as supportive as they could be and speaking the full truth of everything they felt. And it's been a really good experience for everyone. Look at this. I never get sick of this view. So this is my third summer, everybody. My third summer. You can see just the power of the river. Like even 2 weeks ago, the power of the water that was flowing down here. It's like a water highway, isn't it? See, the rocks are still wet. This is all still wet. Because it's only just recently, you can see. Just 2 days ago, that water came down. See, the Avon Rivers builds up water fast. Like as I said, the water goes up to about there on the trees. It really gets really high. And then, yeah, it flows at this level for about a month. But then when, like you can see that there's still a lot of wetness in there. But in a couple of days, that won't, you can see the water in there. But in a couple of days or a week, that will be dried out. Last summer I got really scared. I thought the whole river was going to dry out, but I found a spring, an underwater spring. So this year I know that it's further up there, about 1 kilometre, but there's a deep water, underwater spring. And there's this, when all this is dry, which I'll show you, it'll become drier and drier and drier. Beautiful, isn't it? Cycles of life. What I love about it when the river comes down, because we could only walk up there, up along that bankment, because this was covered in water, but now we can actually walk along the riverbank. I just love it. I love it. Just my third summer here, and I know what and 2 winters now, so I know now. I'm getting used to the cycles. Yeah, so we've got this beautiful. I know that in a month or so, or in a couple of weeks, this will all be completely dry. So I appreciate every droplet of water. And then I know it's going to get drier and drier and drier. And then we're going to get the autumn rains, and then there's going to be the floods. But what I love about when the river dries out, we actually get to walk the riverbed. And there's all these inside islands which are underwater. Like only a month ago, that was all underwater. So it's just a fascinating cycle. And I know you've heard me speak about it over and over again, but it's a really beautiful cycle. Ouch. And when you're in it, experiencing it, and there's all these people who live in Northern that just don't do this walk. They don't even know this. Some people don't even know this exists. I brought a woman here the other day. It was her first. She's been in Northern for 8 years or something, and I brought her along here. She didn't even know it was here. So I'm so blessed with these 2 dogs to do this walk nearly every day. But also that it was an old lady that told me about this not long after I came to Northern, and the way she told me about it was I was walking barefoot in Audi, and she goes, I had sand and mud all over my feet, and she goes, oh, looks like you've been to the river. I said, yes, I have. I said, but the water's coming down a lot. I'm worried about summer. It's going to be my first summer in Northern, because this was a couple of years ago. And she goes, oh, don't you worry about that. She was in her late 80s. Don't you worry about that. You go walking up along Burloin. And she was talking like that because she was so old. You go walking up Burloin and you'll find plenty of fresh water in summer, like that. And she goes, when we were kids, we used to jump off a swing. And she went into a story. I was like, how exciting, woo! So then I tried to find the place, and I found it. Like, I found the place of where to walk, but then I found the springs that she was talking about. So I was like, thanks God for that lady giving me that information, because I'm not kidding, the springs are a fair way up. If you don't know to look for it, you wouldn't look for it. It's like an oasis. So the whole, this is all dried out. There's no water anymore. It's all dried. It's hot, 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 and all dry. And then all of a sudden there's this big pond. Not big pond, but a good size like drop pool. I don't know if you can see my arms. I don't know, 1.5 metre by 1.5 or something like that. It's a bit of a circle. It's crystal clear. That's not true. It's not crystal clear. It's very clear. And it's so cold, but not cold as in not nice cold, like rough. So it's boiling hot, 48-degree day. The river's all dried up. This grass is all dried out. Everything's dry. And then there's this deep pool, and it's so deep. Like, I don't know how deep, but I reckon it goes really far down. It's an underwater spring for sure. It has to be, because in the middle of spring, there's no way water's that clear and that cold. So I was just like so glad I know about that, because now I'm at the beginning of, we're in spring now, and I know that summer's coming. And apparently this is going to be a really dry, hot summer, apparently. But that could just be, like fear, people going into fear. But anyways, the point of the story is I already know that the dogs and I are going to be okay. Last year I was getting really nervous, thinking, oh, where's the water? Oh no, there's no water for the dogs to swim in. But I do know that. So, everybody, act, commit, belong. Because even me, when I was going to the church, like there was days I was so depressed, and I'm going to use the word depressed lightly, because I wasn't depressed per se, as in my mentality was always I had full faith in God, full trust in my life's journey, full faith that all was perfect and all would be well, and that I was protected. I had all of that. So I always felt God, and I always knew God was there, and God was driving and guiding, and I was looking out and listening to all the guides on a 3D level, on a physical level. I was in absolute despair. Like I was having heaps of financial issues. I wasn't unable to work because I had a young pup and I had to stay home for her. So I was just living on Centrelink money, which is not very much when you're running a household and you've got 2 dogs and an old car. And financially, I was in a really bad way. Emotionally and heart-wise, on a humanic 3D level, I was just absolutely broken to the core of my being, completely shattered and completely broken. Like, could barely breathe, could barely drink water. I definitely wasn't able to eat, was not really able to sleep. So all that was happening, but I kept praying to God for the lessons I needed to learn, for the wisdom that I needed to experience, and looking out for the blessings that I knew were abound, to being open and aware of all the blessings. So even amongst all of that despair, I was looking and receptive to the blessings, which is a big call. Reciprocity is, I've come to learn, is pure surrender. So when we're in a place of reciprocity, we are in a space of receiving God's abundance and God's blessings, and we are in a place of humble surrender to the pure, miracle of all that is. So when I say deeply depressed, if I went to a doctor, for example, they would have recorded me as being depressed, and they probably would have gone, here, have some antidepressants. But my soul, my body was in a place of deep grief, very deep grief. My heart was in a place of deep shatteredness, completely shattered, so heartbroken, so shattered, but not depressed is so not the right word. But anyways, during that time of extreme deep grief and brokenness, I was acting to belong, acting to commit and to belong, acting proactively, acting to become part of the community, or to actually put myself in the community to see what could be presented to me, just walking down this hill. So basically, I was going to church every Sunday, most Sundays. Oh, that's my ankle, sorry. Even if I didn't want to go, even if I felt, that's why I'm saying with the word depressed, even if I felt too, I don't want to be around people, I'll just watch the sermon online. I was like, no, be there amongst the people, get there amongst the people, do it. Be brave, be amongst the godly people, use the tools and the resources that are provided. It's through being with the godly community that I will be able to create the required networks that God wants and needs for me to have. And it's through that process of me actively, proactively going to church that got me to get closer to more amazing people. And it's these amazing people that over time, some of these people over time have become my best friends. One lady in particular is my best buddy, and I don't think I've ever had such a best buddy in my whole life. I love her so much. And I'm pretty sure she really loves me too. I know she loves me. She just thinks I'm absolutely the bee's knees. And she's the one that got me into the theatre. But she's also the one that's always had my back. She's the one that had her 16-year-old son come and chop wood for me, for winter, to help me not have so much pressure. Like every little bit, helps. That was YouTube trying to sell me an update right in the middle of a live. Anyways, every single bit of support and what I experienced over winter, the common response, the common comment that most people had for me when they first saw me was, are you okay for wood? Do you have wood? Are you warm enough? Like the care factor's next level up here, because it's actually quite hard. The conditions of here in winter are quite hard, and in summer they're quite hard. And it's only really tough nut people, true practical tough nut. You've got to be practical to survive the wheat belt. It's not a cushy life. It's not a cushy life at all. And the people you meet in general are very authentic, amazing people. And then the church I go to, Bridgeley Church of Christ, is one of the most godly churches I've ever been to in my whole life. I've been to a lot of different churches, and sometimes you wonder about the underlying politics, and some of the statements and ethoses that are given are not that great, and but this church is the most godly church I've ever experienced in my whole life. And as I shared with you all many a times, it was God that pushed me in there. It was actually God's wings that actually got me in there, literally pushed me into the building. Beautiful. And yep, so I might end this YouTube live very soon. We're almost at the car, and as you can see, it's almost night time. So commit, belong, getting into the ethos of authentic living, authentic being, and authentic being with community is my major recommendation to any of you following me. And like, for example, me doing this theatre production is so frightening. Like, someone says to me today at the op shop, oh yeah, me being act, commit, belong to the op shop, that's another thing. I got invited to the op shop to be part of working the op shop from this beautiful elderly lady who actually sold me my home. So she works in real estate, and she also, for 6 years, has been running this incredible op shop, trying to do something really big for the community. And her way of keeping me under her wing, she didn't tell me this straight away, right? Because if she had, would I have joined? I don't know. So she basically, in the beginning, is like, help me, I need help. And I went, oh, and quite a few times, come on, I really appreciate some help with the op shop. And then I start to help, and then once I start to help with something, I get really loyal, really committed. And she told me, I know, about 8 months later, I needed you with me. I wanted you, it was the one time of the week that I could have you near me and I could watch you, because I've been so worried about you. So her main reason for inviting me to be part of her op shop is so that she could nestle me under her wing and make sure I was okay, make sure I was safe, and to keep an eye on me, because she was so worried about my mental well-being and my mental health. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? And it's transferred to, I'm really there for her. And even if I'm in pain, you know, if I'm giving up doing a yoga class or giving up paid work, I'm completely committed to this op shop and this vision of this darling woman. So I'm actively committed to a community, being of service situation. It's actually also putting me in the community, because every Friday we get a lot of repeat customers, and a lot of the people come for chit chats. You know, they come for connection. You get to build up rapport with people, and it's just amazing. And you get to meet some really amazing people. So act, commit, belong, and I just really feel that when you actively step out to become involved and part of your community, and you step up and you actively join something that is of aligns with your interest levels, and you actually can commit to that, well, then you start to belong. You actually start to belong. And it's an authentic belonging. I think it's an authentic belonging. So there you go. And then it puts us in alignment with the blessings that God really wants for us. The networks, God's networking can actually come into play when we are in the right place. If we positioned ourselves in God's grace, in groups that align with our passions, our godly gifted passions, and theatre's one of them for me, because I love singing, I love good theatre, I used to love good comedy, I love clothes, I love colour, I love playing, I love dancing, so all of that sort of stuff, theatre ties in with that. So, you know, and a lot of the other people there, they're of a similar ilk. So I had karaoke last Friday, and I booked a table. I booked a big table I booked it for 6, but they actually gave me a table for up to 10 people. And I booked the table not knowing who was going to come. I just knew I'm going to book a table, so we've got a table. And I just invited all these people. And I invited people from Perth, and I invited people from the theatre group, and I filled the table up, and people came up from Perth. And then the following day we had the markets, and because I used to be such a networker, and I realised I'm still a networker. It's fantastic, but it's not just that. It's like, I love to sing and dance. I'm going to present to everyone else, do you want to join me on this monthly sing and dancing frolic? And more people are going, yeah, I'll commit to next month. So now I know that I can actually have my once a month dance at the local karaoke, and I get my 3 to 4 or 6 songs depending on how many people are singing, and I'm just there having fun. I get there, get to sing, and I'm there, I get to dance, and we're all just playing, and it's just a genuine friendship, genuine connection, genuine group of people. It's just stunning. So, and that comes from acting, belonging, and committing, because it's the same with the karaoke. Amount of times I go, oh, especially because it's on a Friday, and I finish, it's once a month on a Friday, and I finish op shop duty around 5:30, or sometimes 3:30. I'm usually exhausted because it's actually such an exhausting job. I've got to go really soon. It's getting dark, and mozzies. I'm actually getting bitten by mozzies here. I'll show you. Hang on. Beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. We're so blessed. Nearly night time. And as you can see, it's still very hot. Today I got up to 31. So act, committing, and belonging. That is my well, I've always been like that. I've always actually put myself in. The few times I haven't is when I end up getting depressed. And I remember one of the times I wasn't doing it was when I first came up to Northern, and I was living with someone who kept saying, no, I don't want to go do that. I just want to stay home. You can go if you want. And I went, but why would I go on my own when we're, supposed to be a couple? Like, that's really sad. Okay, well, so I did. I used to go to the markets on my own, but the karaoke, I thought, no, I don't actually want to go out to karaoke on my own. Like, that's a bit weird when you're in a relationship and, partner's just at home watching TV or YouTube and whatever, or sleeping. So I blocked myself. From, I should have still kept, being part of the community, and just accepting that, I was in a relationship with someone who wanted to live a life of not belonging, not committing, not wanting to be part of the community, not wanting to actually live, not wanting to actually do anything, just blob out, be a zombie, watch YouTube, the same YouTube, not even knowing what they're remembering, not remembering what they watched, or just, if that's that person's choice. And that's another bit of advice. If you are living your life with someone who really doesn't want to act, commit, belong, please, just, because I used to feel so sorry for this person, like, oh my gosh, why don't you want to do part of this? Why don't you want to do this? How could you just want to, okay, I'll stay home with you then, keep you company doing blah, 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 blah. I realised that was one of the worst things I could have ever done for me, because what I was doing was actually stopping myself from being part of the community. I was stopping myself from actually doing something that I'd always done, which is actually networking and exploring and having adventures, and being putting myself in a situation where you don't know what adventure, you just don't know who you're going to meet or what's going to occur, or you got to be out there. You got to be within the community to actually be given the opportunity of networking with community. If you're just at home alone, you're not going to be able to network with community, are you? Okay, so that's what we're going to. That's one big thing. If anyone struggles with changing something that they know works because they're feeling sorry for someone else, or because they think, oh look, I'll just surrender that for now, and I'll just be like this for a while, because over time this person will want to step up and do everything they said they wanted to do, and actually act on the dreams. I'll get their confidence and I'll build it up and blah blah. I realise, no, if you just stay at home and you're staying at home with them, and you yourself aren't getting that inspired, interactive connection with people who are inspired and interactive, you got to like be with those who are. You got to be around those of how you are, how you want to be. There's a saying that if you want to succeed, be around people successful. If you like that being part of this drama group, and I'm around all these people who have been really brave and learning lines, and some of them are seasoned actors, but some of them it's their first time. We're doing something we've never done before. This is like life changing. It's actually really changing us. And I said to one of the people at the group the other day, have you noticed that you're walking around, because it's a Western America, it's a American Western musical comedy, right? And I said to someone, have you noticed that, are you walking around using like a Western accent? And are you walking around going, well, what, like your hands on hips and going into a Western character? And I'm like, some people said, yeah. I said, oh my gosh, I just doing it naturally. Like, what's actually happening is I'm naturally getting more flamboyant again. Like, I'm naturally getting that spicy sort of funny, quirky, flamboyancy, sort of playful personality of mine that actually died for 2 and a bit years. Like, I actually allowed that part of me to die. I actually allowed such a big part of me to numb out and get small and, just retardated. And no wonder that's when I got depressed, everyone. If you're going small and you're retardating yourself, that will always lead to depression. So because you're pushing something down, you're squashing something, so of course you're going to be depressed. You're depressing something. It's opposite to uplifting and enhancing and being expressive and blah blah blah. So that's it, everyone. That's the message. This act, commit, belong comment that I got from this lady, one of my colleagues, one of my drama. Yep, we're going now. It's getting dark. I'm going to get going before Zena Bina finds herself, oh there you are, darling, finds herself a rabbit or something to chase. Because I remember one night we're here at the car at dusk and I was wrapping up my YouTube and I took a bit too long and she got a scent of a animal and zoom, and it took me about, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes to get it back. Because I would say when it's dark like this, a lot of animals start coming out. Okay, let me get Zenabina, come on. Come on. But anyways, we'll wrap it up. Adios, amigos. Thank you, darling. And I have no, look, I want to show you my beautiful hat. I love it. Come on, in you get, woo. Anyways, op shop duty, act, commit, belong for me. Karaoke, act, commit, belong. Theatre group, act, commit, belong. Church, act, commit, belong. I was going to put my sunnies on. No, I don't think so. Yeah, all that stuff, everyone. If you can find something in your area that aligns with you, I really highly recommend it. And I'll just get out of the car for a second and say goodbye with view. I'll just shut this window. I'll just show you I'll open the window so that it's got air. And I'll just let you see the sunset and then we'll sign out. Mwah. Adios, amigos. I don't know when I'm going to talk to you next. Life's too busy for these YouTubers lately, but I think about you, my YouTube followers, a lot, and my YouTube channel. I haven't forsaken this YouTube channel. Here's the beautiful view. It's nearly night. There we go. It's a beautiful Avon River. Friday night. Don't know what the degree is, but it's about probably 26 degrees right now. It's warm, it's nice, it's beautiful. This is heaven. Okay, everyone, I'll end it on this view. God bless. God bless. Adios and see you next time. Keep thriving, my little loves, keep thriving.